Gold. Holding it in your hands is a good feeling because you know it will bring money for your family, for your children's education, perhaps to build a house or start a new business. But getting gold is a difficult process. Extracting, crushing, milling, washing, panning, and then the actual gold recovery. That final stage of gold recovery often uses mercury, but mercury is very poisonous.
As for me, I wasn't caring about the mercury. I would wash them, I would sometimes eat them, burn them in the kitchen, and I wasn't aware of anything.
It is the fumes from the mercury that are so dangerous, but you can't see the fumes or smell them.
There is a good proportion of artisan and small-scale gold miners who have accumulated high levels of mercury in their bodies.
Mercury spreads through the body and can affect the lungs, skin, kidneys, and brain. You can be exposed to mercury from the fumes, but the danger is not just from the vapor or fumes when heating mercury. Even at normal temperatures, there will be vapor given off when it is being handled or if a container is not closed properly. This mercury vapor can remain in the air, get deposited on clothes, carried in the wind to your homes, and also into water, where it can end up in fish that you eat. You can also be exposed when touching mercury or when mercury in tailings is mixed with cyanide, producing toxic compounds, or from contaminated food.
Mercury has certain key properties. It is very toxic, it is volatile, like it evaporates, and it's persistent in the environment. So it is very detrimental to the human health and the environment.
Before we understood the dangers of mercury, we were using mercury in our ponds, mercury in our homes, mercury in our basins. I mean, mercury was everywhere.
The effects of being exposed to mercury, including difficulty breathing, difficulty walking, blurred vision, tremors, infertility, and impotence, may not be immediate. They can take years to appear and can be irreversible.
Also, we are hearing our ladies complaining that the men are not performing their duties in bed.
Mercury is very dangerous to human beings. It degrades in the environment and then enters the food chain. The crops that we grow, the fish that we keep in the fish ponds, and even the fish that we get from the rivers. And you have a wider infiltration of mercury in the food chain of a bigger population of Uganda.
Remember, mercury can attack your body, including your brain, and it is also very dangerous for pregnant women, affecting a child even before it is born. While international conventions and some national laws prohibit the use of mercury where possible, how can you work safely while transitioning from mercury use? Always use gloves when handling mercury. Store the mercury in a bottle or jar with a tight-fitting lid and away from children. There are specially designed masks for when you are handling mercury. If you don't have these special masks, then use any masks you have available. When working with mercury, always work in a dedicated area where mercury is used, known as an amalgamation area, where there are amalgamation ponds and disposal areas so the mercury does not contaminate water sources. Avoid just openly burning mercury, which is considered extremely harmful. If you are burning mercury, always wear a mask and use a retort to capture the fumes. A retort is a simple device used to capture the invisible mercury vapors and turn them back into liquid mercury, which can then be reused. Place the retort where it is going to be used. This should be outdoors, well away and downwind from people and buildings. Place the retort above a heat source. Heat the amalgam until all of the mercury is evaporated. The time varies depending on heat and amount of amalgam. Wait for the retort to cool. Do not open the retort while it is still hot. If you do, mercury vapors will escape and contaminate you. Store the retort safely, away from people and houses. If you are using a type of retort that collects mercury into a water bowl, place the end of the retort pipe under water.
It takes time to tell a miner that, don't use mercury. We'll ask you, what else do I have to use?
There are some options available if you are looking to eliminate mercury from your processing. The options are gravity concentration, flotation, and leaching the gold with chemicals.
We have recently acquired these two pieces of equipment. One is a jaw crusher and the other is a wet pan mill or a grinder. So with the jaw crusher, we can now handle rocks directly from our mining pits, crush them in the jaw crusher and reduce them in size so that we can mill them in the wet pan mill more efficiently. Traditionally, this wet pan mill has been used with a lot of mercury. With us, we don't intend to use mercury at all. We are going to use it as a grinder and a concentrator at the same time, and retaining the gold concentrate within the mill itself. And then from there, with the concentrate, we can further pass it through the gold catcher and even concentrate it further.
So we pan the concentrate and then introduce a magnet to remove the iron and other metals that can be attracted by a magnet. That is done to increase the purity of our gold. So after we have done that, we add borax and then introduce the smelter and then heat it. You find that the gold will be separated from all the other metals. The things like sand that are in the concentrate will be burnt to ashes, and the other metals will be separated from gold. And then there you come up with your gold without using mercury.
Remember, working with mercury is dangerous. It can affect both you, your family, and the environment. Protect yourself. Use a mask and use gloves. If you are using mercury, use a retort when heating it so the fumes are contained. Don't heat mercury where others can breathe in the fumes, and when possible, use options to eliminate mercury from your gold processing. By protecting yourself, you will also be protecting your family, your community, and your environment.